Hello, welcome to Rising Technologies. This is Harish. You are watching part 23 of Core Java video tutorial. In this session, we are going to see few examples of inheritance in Java. In our last session, we have studied the behavior of constructor in inherited class hierarchy. We know that parent class constructor executes prior to child class constructor. If parent class constructor expects any parameter, it must be supplied from the child class constructor, and this super keyword is used to invoke parent class constructor from child class constructor. Now consider following example. Suppose I want to create a class hierarchy consisting these three classes. I want to create a class media and two inherited classes, that is book and tape. So book is a kind of media, tape is also a kind of media. Now we have learned that we can create a base class that contains common properties, and each derived class is going to acquire these common properties. Additionally, it can add its own unique attributes. So each and every media is going to have at least these two common properties. That media is going to have some title and some price. So I'm going to add these two properties in this media class. So these two properties were inherited by book as well as tape class. Now this book and tape class can add few additional properties, like this book class can add one more property like author, number of pages. Similarly, this tape class can acquire these properties from its parent class, and it will add a property like playtime or the duration of that audio or video tape. So suppose this media class is going to have a constructor, and that constructor may receive two parameters. One is title and another is price, and the value of this title parameter is being initialized to the instance variable of this class. So we can access that variable using this keyword. So this dot title means the instance variable title of this class, and this variable is being assigned to the value of this title parameter. Similarly, we can assign this parameter to this price field of this media class. In our last session, we have learned that if a parent class has only parameterized constructor, in that case you must provide a constructor in each deriving class, because the parameter that are expected to the parent class constructor must be supplied from the child class constructor. So in these examples, I need to add a constructor within this book class, and this constructor will take three parameters. Two parameters, that is title and price for its parent class, and the name of author for this child class itself. So I can create a constructor within this book class that will receive title, price and author as an argument, and from these three parameters, this title and price can be passed as a parameter to parent class or super class using this super keyword. So the super keyword is going to invoke super class constructor, and it will pass the value of title and price as an argument to this constructor, and the remaining argument, that is author, that will be assigned to the field within this author variable of this book class. Similarly, we can add a tape constructor. Also, this constructor is going to have three arguments: title, price and playtime. Between these three arguments, two arguments, that is title and price, will be sent to the superclass constructor, and this third argument, that is playtime, that will be assigned to this playtime field of this tape class. Let's write this program. I'm going to create a class. Let's name it media class, and this class is going to hold string title and integer price. Now I want a constructor within this media class, and this constructor is going to receive two arguments. One is title and another is price. So I can say title is T and price is P. So the value of this parameter will be assigned to this field, that is title, and value of this P parameter will be assigned to this field, that is price. But what if I give the same name as my fields to these arguments? So the name of this argument is price. So if I say title is title, so compiler will get confused. What value will be assigned to which variable? Actually, this title will be this argument, and I need to assign the value of this argument to the instance variable of this media class. So I can make use of this keyword. So this is a reference that refers to the instance of this class, and you can access any instance variable using this. Similarly, I can say this dot price is price. Okay. Now this is my parent class, and this class is going to hold these two common properties as well as the constructor. Now I want to create this book class, and within this book class I want to add one additional property, that is author. In our last session we have learned that each derived class acquires common properties from its parent class and it adds its own unique attributes to it. So I want to create a book class, and this book class is going to extend from this media class, and within this book class I want to add this field, that is author. So just declare a variable author. Now look at this parent class. This class has only one constructor, and that constructor expects some argument. So it is mandatory for this book class to have a constructor and supply necessary argument to the parent class constructor. So let's add a constructor within this book class. This constructor is going to have three arguments: two for its parent class, that is title and price, and one for that class itself, that is author. So let's declare three parameters: title, price, and author name. I need to supply these two values to the superclass constructor. So I can make use of this super keyword, and let's pass on this title as well as price. So the value of these two arguments will be supplied as a parameter to this class constructor, and these values will be initialized to these fields. Now I want to assign the remaining value, that is author, to this particular author variable. So I can say this dot author is author. Now I want a method within this class to display the book details. So let's create a method with the name display. Within this method I want to print the book details. Let's print its title plus title. Now look at this. This class do not have any variable or any data member with the name title. So where this title is coming from? This title is being inherited from this media class to this book class via this inheritance. Now I want to print its price. So again I'm going to access this price variable. Let's print that over here. And now I want to print the name of the author. So author will be stored within this variable. So let's print that. Now I want to create another inherited class from this media, that is tape, because tape is also one kind of media. And within this class I want to add a field, that is playtime, or the duration of that audio or video tape. So let's copy and paste this class. Let's change the name from book to tape, change the name of constructor as well, and within this class I'm going to have one more field, that is playtime, and the constructor of this tape class is going to receive title and price for its parent class and this playtime for that class itself. Let's apply this title and price as an argument to the superclass constructor. and let's say this dot playtime equals playtime. I also want a display method within this tape class, and this method is responsible to display the details of that tape. So let's say tape details, its title, its price, and its playtime. And let's print this playtime variable, and let's say minutes. So I have this inheritance class hierarchy ready with me. Now I want to create an instance of this book class and one instance of this tape class by supplying necessary data to the respective constructors. So within my main program, I want to create an instance of this book class. So let's say book B equals new book, and look at the constructor within this book class. This constructor expects a title, a price, and the name of author of that book. So let's apply learning Java is the name of that particular book. This is the price and the name of author. Similarly, I want to create an instance of this tape class. So let's say tape T equals new tape, and look at the constructor within this tape class. This constructor also expects three arguments: the title of tape, the cost or price of that tape, and play time in minutes of that particular tape. So the name of that tape may be Incredible India, the price may be 680 rupees, and this is a 90-minute tape. Now I want to print the details of book as well as tape. So we know that these both classes have the method with the name display, and this method is responsible to display the details of that particular media. So I will just say b.display. So this statement is going to invoke display method of this book class, and it will print book details. Similarly, I want to print the tape details, so just say t.display, and this will cause this method to execute, and this method will print the title, price, and play time of that tape. So with all these changes, save this program, compile it, and run it. Now look at this, it has displayed book detail and tape details. So book detail title is Learning Java, its price is 560 rupees, the author is H. Jaiswal, and the tape details, the title is Incredible India, cost is 680 rupees, and the play time is 90 minutes. So let's have a look at how data is being transferred from one line to another within this program. So we have this media class, we have two subclasses of this media, one is book, another is tape, and within our inheritance demo class we have this main method, and we have created an instance of this book class, that is book B equals new book, and we have supplied the necessary arguments because the constructor of this book class expects these three parameters. So let's just focus on this particular line. So when we create an instance of this book class, we are supplying three values. So the first value will be sent as argument into this title, this 650 will be sent as argument into this price, and this name will be sent as argument into this author parameter. Once this data is received by this constructor, this child class constructor is internally invoking its parent class constructor using super keyword, and it is supplying the title and price from this line to the parent class constructor's title. Similarly, when we supply this price to the super, the value of this price will be sent as an argument to this price parameter to the media constructor, and this constructor is going to assign this title and price to these two variables. So this is how data is being transferred from one line to one constructor, from this constructor to parent class constructor. Now let's have one more example of inheritance. Suppose I want to create two shape classes, rectangle and triangle, and we know that these both shapes are two-dimensional shapes. So I want to create one common parent class, and these two child classes is going to inherit from this parent class. So the common properties, that is the value of dimension 1 and dimension 2, I'm going to declare these two properties within this shape class, and these both classes, rectangle and triangle classes, is going to have an area method. This area method is responsible to calculate area of a rectangle. This area method is responsible to calculate area of triangle. These both classes is going to take support of this shape class to store the values of dimension 1 as well as dimension 2. So let's create this example. So let me delete all this code. Let's create a class and let's name it shape class. I want to store dimension 1 and dimension 2. The constructor of this shape class is going to have two arguments of type double. Let's name it d1 and d2. Now I want to assign the value of this d1 to this d1. So in order to access this instance field, we can say this dot dimension 1 equals d1. So d1 is the name of argument, whereas this dot d1 is the name of this instance field. Similarly, this dot dimension 2 equals dimension 2. Now I cannot provide a area method at this class because at this stage we do not have any definite shape, and on the next level we have a particular shape, that is rectangle. So whenever we create an inheritance class hierarchy, we actually tend to go from generic to specific. So this is, you can say, a generic class that just encapsulates two dimensions of a 2D shape. But on the next level we have a definite shape, that is rectangle as well as triangle. So we are not going to provide any other method within this shape class. Now I want to create a class with the name rectangle class, and this class is going to extend from this shape class. I don't want to add any additional properties within this rectangle class. All I need to do is supply a constructor over here, and that constructor is going to supply the necessary arguments to the shape class constructor. Look at this shape class, it has only one constructor, and this constructor expects two values as argument. So it is mandatory for us to define a constructor within this rectangle class. This constructor is going to receive maybe height and width, and we need to supply these two values to the parent class constructor. So how to invoke parent class constructor? Using super keyword. So this super is going to execute or call this constructor, and this constructor expects two arguments of type double. So let's supply this height and width. So this will supply the necessary data to the constructor, and this constructor is going to initialize these two dimensions. Okay, now within this rectangle class I want to add a method, that is area method, and this method is responsible to calculate and display area of rectangle. So let's declare a variable double area equals dimension 1 into dimension 2. Now look at this, I am accessing these two fields, but these two fields are not declared within this rectangle class itself. These two fields are being inherited from this shape class to rectangle class. So I have declared the area variable, I have computed the area of rectangle. Now I need to print that area. So system.out.println area of rectangle, and let's print the value of this a variable itself. Okay, so this class is ready. Now I want to create this one more class, that is triangle class, and I want to provide one more area method, and this area method is going to calculate area of triangle. So let me copy and paste this code, and let's name it triangle. The name of constructor will be again triangle, and this constructor is going to receive two arguments, that is height and base of the triangle. So let's apply these two values to the parent class constructor, and now within this area method I want to calculate area of triangle. So what is the formula? It is half into height into base, so half into dimension 1 into dimension 2, and let's print this area of triangle and the value of this a variable itself. So now we have this class hierarchy ready. Now let's create instances of these two respective classes and let's see whether it prints the area perfectly. So let's declare an instance of rectangle class equals new rectangle, and look at the rectangle constructor. It expects height and width as a parameter, so let's apply 5 and 4. Now I want to create an instance of this triangle class, so just say triangle T equals new triangle, and look at this triangle constructor. It also expects height and base as a parameter, so let me supply the same values. Okay, now these both instances, an object of rectangle and an object of triangle, these both instances is going to have a method, that is area method, and this area method is responsible to calculate and print the area of that respective shape. So I will just call this area method over this rectangle instance. Similarly, I will call this area method over this triangle instance. So with all these changes, save this program, compile this and run. Now look at the output. Area of rectangle is 20, that is 5 into 4, 20, and area of triangle is 10. So this is how we can reuse the properties from base class to derived class. And remember, each derived class acquires common properties from its base class and it adds its own unique attributes. Even we can say a derived class is a specialized version of its respective base class. Thanks for watching. For more details, visit our official site, that's risingtechnologies.in. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel.